Hello, good afternoon class. How are you doing? Hope that you're all fine and safe. Before we continue our lessons, I would like to ask you, did you enjoy your vacations? Yes, huh? Hope you did. For me, I also enjoyed my vacation, but I'm also glad to be back here with you. So are you glad to be with me? Yes, right. So are you ready to begin our lessons today? Okay, today we're going to start in Unit 6, page 46 and 46 through 48. Our title for today is on migrations. Can you please take out your book and turn to page 46? Have mine marked. On page 46 have a lot of readings about migrations. Have the whole page on page 46 and some on page 47. But before we continue on with our reading, I would like to explain to you some words that's in your reading that might help you understand more about your readings. I have a list of 7 words here that will help and guide you through your readings. But in your readings, if you have difficulty understanding some of these words, you can always ask me and I will help and guide you through your readings, okay? These are the words to know, and I will go over to you in a minute. But before we start, the word migrations. What does migrations mean? Can you post something up on our Telegram page telling me what migrations mean? If you say migrations mean to move around from places to places or from country to country, you are correct. Migrations mean I am moving. So back, like for example, in the early days, people migrate all over the world or all over the country to find food. That means in the early days, maybe like 400 or 500 years ago, if people stay in one place too much, there'd be no food. So they have to go around other places in the country to find food, right? To find animals, to find vegetables, to find fruit. So they migrate all over the countries to find food. That's what migration means, moving around from places to places. But as modern day, like today, people also migrate. They migrate from different cities to find jobs, right? Sometimes there might not be no job in a big city or in a small city. So they move to a bigger city to find jobs. So they migrate from a small cities or from the province to the big cities where they can find jobs. Our title today is about migration. Migrations mean moving from places to places. Okay, now let me go over these words with you so you have a better understanding of your reading. I also want you to copy all these words down, including what it means, okay? Because this will be important for you, because during the beginning of our next week's class, I will ask you about these words. And I want you to be able to answer me these questions about what these words means. Okay, the first word I have here is permanently. Permanently. Permanently means it will last forever. I mean, it will last forever. This is not a permanent marker, so it won't last. I can erase it, this marker. But if you have a permanent marker and you write on your book or on the board, I mean, it will last forever. It's hard to erase. So permanently means it will last forever. The second word I have here is generations. Generations. Generations means all the people born and living at the same time. So can you give me an example of generations? Okay, for example, all your classmates that's going to school right now in the 2nd grade, you are all in the same generations. That means you are all born and living at the same time. But for me, I'm much older. My generation is the people that's around my age and growing up at my same time. So we grew up probably in the 80s, in the 90s, meaning in the 1980s and 1990s. That's when I grew up as a kid. So that is my generation. That is my time. So your generation is right now with your group of kids and your groups of students and your groups of friends. That is your generation. And the third word I have here is entertainment. Entertainment. Without looking at the board, what kind of entertainment do you do for fun on your days off? Or what entertainments do you like to watch on TV? Can you put something up on our Telegram page? Explain to me or tell me what your entertainment is. For entertainments, I have an event or performance or activities for others to enjoy. For example, on my entertainment, sometimes I like to go to the movie and watch movies for my entertainment. So that's something I like to go see and enjoy for myself. So what kind of entertainments do you like to do? And the fourth word I have here is harvester. Harvester. Harvester is a person who works in the field gathering crops. For example, picking rice, picking fruits, or picking vegetables. So a harvester is anybody working in the field picking up rice or picking up crops or fruits. So if you work in the field, you are a harvester. Even if you work in your own house, in your backyard, picking up your own fruits that you grow, you are harvesting your own crops. So you are a harvester. Harvester is a person, any person who works in the field gathering crops. For example, like rice, fruits, and vegetables. And the fifth word I have here, which is also in your reading, is peasants. Peasants. A peasant is a poor agriculture laborer. A poor agricultural laborer, meaning a poor farmer. So most peasants are harvesters, meaning that they are poor agriculture farmers. So they work hard in the field and they don't have much money, so they have to work real hard. That's what's called peasants. And the sixth word is nomads. Nomads. What is a nomads? Does nomads consist, or does nomads still living in the world today? Yes or no? We can find this out together. We can search this on Google. We can see if there's any nomads that's living on earth right now. That would be our assignments also. Okay, a nomads is a group of people who travel from places to places. They have no home. So for example, like maybe 200 or 300 years ago, there were a lot of nomads where they did not have a home call their own. So they travel within their tribe or within their family, huge big family like 200 or 300 people, travel all around the world looking for food, for places to stay, or whatever they were looking for. And those group of people that travel from places to places are called nomads. So do any nomads exist in the world today? Yes or no? I think maybe there's some. And my last word I have here is tundra. Tundra. Tundra is a flat, treeless region, meaning an area where there is no trees at all. There might be a lot of grass or bushes, but there is no trees. It's a treeless region. So in Cambodia, is there a lot of tundra? There's any areas where there is no tree? I think I've seen some. Those areas are called tundra. Remember, tundra is not the car. The car is also a tundra, but that's the model of a car. But we are talking about a region where there is no tree. Okay? Okay, now for your first task activities. For your first task, I want you to copy and write down all the words in your notebook. So I want you to copy and write down all these words in your notebook. And please, when you copy and write it down, try to read it and understand what these words mean, because I will ask you about it next week. And for your second task, for your second questions on your first task, I want you to read page 46 about migrations. It's a lot of reading. And record your voice and post it on our Telegram page, okay? There is a whole page of reading, so take your time, read it, and if you have difficulty understanding some of these words, you can ask me and I will help you how to pronounce these words and give you the meanings for it. Okay, so I will give you 40 minutes to write all these down and record your voice and send it to me. And after you send it to me, I will grade you on how you perform in your speak, how you pronounce each word, and your correct readings on this. Okay, class? In 40 minutes, I will upload our next video, so see you on our second video. Hello class, welcome back to our second video for today's lesson. So thank you for copying all these words down and thank you for recording your voice. You have did an excellent job. Some of you still haven't sent me your recording yet, so I will still be waiting for your recording, okay? And your pronunciations on all these words were excellent. Great job. I would like to do a quick recap before I give you your second task. So we talked about migrations, and this article was about migrations. Migrations means, as you can see reading through your article, people moving around from places to places. So we have here the migrations of early day harvesters and the migrations of nomads, where nomads are people that really have no home, so they travel from places to places, gathering foods, gathering things they need, and all throughout their whole life, all they did was travel. And yes, there are still some nomads around today. I did some investigations. I looked in Google to find that there are a lot of nomads in Mongolia and in Europe, where they do not have a home to call their own, so they travel from places to places, gathering foods and gathering certain things that they need for life. So that was really important, and thank you for doing the research with me. Okay, for those of you that haven't sent me your recording yet, please do so, because I will grade you according to it, and I will mark you for your overall grade. Now on to our second task. Our second task is on page 47 in your book. And page 47 have a lot of questions in it, but these questions want not just an A, B, or C question. All these questions want a writing from you or want an explanation, meaning you have to explain each question. And from questions, they also give you a title where you can find the answers or the meaning to it from the paragraph. Like for question 1, give one word which has the same meaning and the phrases as shifting to a new places. And you can find that answer in paragraph 1. So they want you to give a word from paragraph 1 that meaning shifting from new places to a new places. You can read the first paragraph and answer the question, and so on. For for paragraph 2, they have 3 questions. And for paragraph 3, you have another 3 questions. But for each question, they want you to write, or I want you to write what these words mean or what the question is asking. And please write your answers in your notebook, okay? And once you have completed answering all these questions, you can submit it to my personal telegram and I will correct it and give you back your score. Since this is a lot of questions and a lot of writings, I will give you 40 minutes to complete. At the end of 40 minutes, I will upload our next video, okay class? If you have any further questions or don't understand any words, just let me know and I will guide you through all your questions. Until our next video, see you in the third video, class. Hello, how you doing class? Welcome back to our third and final videos for today's lessons. As you know, our third and final video is always about homework and your homework assignments. But before we go on to explaining your homework, I would like to do a quick recap of what we have learned today. So thank you for copying and writing down all these words that I have written down the word on the board here. Remember, these words are important, so I want you to study these words, know these words, because I will ask you about these words next week before we start our lessons. And the first words are permanently, second word generations, entertainment, harvester, peasant, nomads, and the tundra. Remember, a tundra is not a car that we're talking about. A tundra is a flat, treeless region. As we have explained earlier, there are some tundra regions here in Cambodia, right? There are some areas where there are no trees at all. There's just a lot of flat lands and grasslands. Those are called tundras. And we also have discussed, our reading was about migrations. We have discussed many issues and topics about that. Why people migrated in the early days and why people still migrated now to these days. As we learned that in the early days, maybe like 200 or 300 years ago or more, people migrated to find food, to find the proper shelter for their families, and also people migrated for safety, right? Because at a certain area there might be too many people or too many dangerous things, so they migrated to a different area so their family could be safe. And also for today, we talk about migration in today's world. Today's world, if you live in a province or a smaller city, there might not be enough jobs for your family. So you migrate to a bigger city like Phnom Penh to find jobs. So as you can see, many people migrate for different reasons. One, for safety. Two, to find food, or for jobs, right? Thank you for our discussions about migrations and our discussions about our topic today in our reading. And also I would like to personally thank you for submitting me all your readings on page 46. You have done a great job, and your reading have really improved, so thank you for that. Now on to your homework assignment. Your homework assignment is on page 48. Page 48 is also talks about migration, but we talk about immigrations. Immigrations mean the act of going from one country to another. So it means the same thing as migrations, but immigrations mean the act of going to another country. So for example, if I were to immigrate to Thailand, I mean I am moving to Thailand. I'm going to Thailand. Okay, for your assignments, I want you to answer all the questions on page 48. There are many questions that is about you. So remember, there is no wrong answers as long as you do your answers or answer the questions. And on the second part of the homework is a writing assignment. They want you to write a letter or a postcard back to your friends, to whatever country that you are planning to go, telling me about the countries that you are willing to go. So for example, if I were about to immigrate to Thailand, I will write a letter back to you telling you what Thailand is about. I can say, oh, Thailand is a beautiful country, have a lot of different places to live, or have a lot of different places to visit, and have some job opportunities, or might not have job opportunities. These are some things that I can write back to you explaining what Thailand is about. Now I want you to write in your own words, remember, in your own words, about a place where you want to go, a place where you want to migrate to, and write about that. Okay, if you have any further questions about your homework or any other activities that we have on our board today, let me know, and I will gladly guide you through the questions. Okay, class, till we see each other again next week, be safe and stay healthy. Goodbye.